It's time. Shadow of Mordor 2 could be unveiled at the PlayStation Experience 2016. I will tell you why I think that in this video. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and don't forget to hit the like button. It would be very weird if there was no Shadow of Mordor 2. It sold really well, got a lot of praise and even Game of the Year awards. And they already got the engine. It would make way less sense for the developer Monolith Soft to create a whole new game, and way more expensive as well. And trust me, Warner Bros. Is dying for some franchises, especially when the Arkham games are done and Rocksteady is moving on. Then we also had the huge leak where stunt artists put the game title on a LinkedIn page, but then suddenly took it away. The person worked on a blur trailer for the new Shadow of Mordor game, but if you're not familiar with a blur trailer, it's like a cinematic trailer. Looks really awesome as you can see right now, and they also had this with the first Shadow of Mordor game. So this trailer was probably getting made in May, something like that, and they already planned it for E3, but then decided to move it. This is just me speculating. And maybe after that they thought, okay, there's no real big show where we can announce this until now, PlayStation Experience 2016. But there is way more. If we look at the list of PlayStation 4 Pro compatible games right now, we see a lot of new games like Watch Dogs 2, Rise of the Tomb Raider, Final Fantasy 15, but also some old games like Infamous, Second Son, First Light, Uncharted 4 and The Last of Us Remastered. And yeah, there's also Shadow of Mordor. Wait. All those games are PlayStation 4 exclusives, except for Shadow of Mordor. Why would people at Monolith Soft suddenly make a PS4 Pro patch for their game? It only costs them money. I mean, it makes sense for Sony to say, hey, first party studios like Naughty Dog and Sucker Punch, make a PlayStation 4 Pro patch. I mean, they own those studios, they pay for them. So yeah, of course they need to support their new system. But for Shadow of Mordor, it doesn't make sense at all, unless to get Shadow of Mordor in the spotlight again. Could that mean that something is coming? I mean, they are preparing something. People got a good reason to go back to the game right now with the PlayStation 4 Pro enhancements. It was discussed during the PlayStation 4 Pro reveal event and in many previews and reviews of the console, because it was one of the first games that supported the PlayStation 4 Pro. It's in our minds again, so to then announce a new one makes a ton of sense. And the best place to do that is the PlayStation Experience 2016. Not only because Sony got in contact about the PlayStation 4 Pro patch, but also because the original Shadow of Mordor got some PlayStation 4 exclusive content. The game sold really well in the past, so the partnership between Sony and Warner Bros. Went really well. Why not do it again then? And this time make an even bigger deal about it at the PlayStation Experience, yes, 2016. I'm really ending like all my sentences with that word. Anyway, it's time for Shadow of Mordor 2, the first one released in September 2014. So for the new one to release in, let's say, fall or maybe Q3 of 2017, makes a lot of sense. 3 years should be enough for Monolith Soft to make a new game when you already have an engine and assets from the original. I think this makes a lot of sense, and that's why announcing it now is as well. Shadow of Mordor 1 was announced in November 2013 and released in September 2014. So they have about the same announcement till release time. So yeah, I don't want to say it again, but I just have to make my point. It makes a lot of sense. So to recap why I think Shadow of Mordor 2 could be at the PlayStation Experience 2016 is 1. It's super likely that it's in development. I mean, it sold really well and stuff like that. It just got a PS4 Pro patch, and if we look at the other PS4 Pro games, it doesn't really make a lot of sense to support this game suddenly. And also there was no good time to announce it before the PlayStation Experience. And that show makes a lot of sense because of the relationship with Sony, the exclusive content they had and stuff like that for the original. So, what do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Shadow of Mordor 2 at the PlayStation Experience 2016. I think it will happen. What do you think? Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to be up to date on everything. And when I say everything, I mean everything regarding the PlayStation Experience 2016. I will make videos like a madman during the show, after the show, share my reactions, share my thoughts, share everything regarding it, and we will discuss it even further in the comments down below. It will be a good time, so be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on that, and I will speak to you next time then.